When I found out that I could follow Jesus in my normal daily life, partner with the Father in a good relationship as His Son, cooperate with the Holy Spirit, and bring the kingdom, one of the things I began to start doing was praying for miracles. And that might sound like oh, that's fantastic, or that's sensationalism, or that's emotionalism, or some of you even think, oh, praying for miracles is a sign of the end-time deception with the Antichrist. No. A third of Jesus' ministry is verbal proclamation announcing the kingdom. Another third of His ministry is tangible, releasing people from suffering and from the demonic stranglehold on their life in terms of healing. And another third of His ministry is releasing them from the demonic stranglehold of their lives in terms of the mental, emotional affliction called demonization. So only a third of Jesus' ministry in the Gospels, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, is actually related to what we would talk about as preaching or teaching, and the other 2/3 is compassionate action to rid the demonic struggle and suffering from their life. And so again, a third of the ministry of Jesus is healing, and he commissioned His disciples, first the 12, then the 72, to heal the sick. In other words, if you lived in the first century, the idea of following and obeying Jesus, His example and His teaching as one of His disciples, the idea that you could be a disciple of Jesus and not lay your hands on the sick for their recovery would have been a foreign concept to you. So anyway, so Gateway DTS, this coming up in September the 12th is when we're going to have our first class. Gateway DTS, we have a whole bunch of different teachers. We have Lori Westwood, we have Bob Muncie, I think we have Adam Bauer, I think we have Linda Miller and Tammy and me, and we're going to have interviews, and we're going to have a Dan Moeller video and a Bill Johnson video. We got a lot of diversity in this particular class, but we're also going to be reading John Wimber's Power Healing book together and having discussion questions online, and we're going to even have homework, and the homework is praying for 2 people a week for healing. 1 person in church each Sunday, and 1 person out of church each week, and then start each class with testimonies about what we about our exploits with Jesus, because that's what this is about. This is about trying to figure out how we can grow in the real things of the kingdom in our normal daily lives. I'm super pumped about this class. I think it's going to be fantastic. Don't let the term healing freak you out. This is not going to be a super theological class for theories. This is going to be about God's goodness lived out in daily life by people who know we can trust Him because He's a good God, and all good and perfect things come from our Father who doesn't change, like shifting shadows. You know, we know when our kids are sick, we want to bring comfort and release and healing to them, and God's heart is just that pure, just that clean. In fact, much more so than ours. And we have been afflicted in the Church of Jesus with a lot of bad theology that made God the author of evil and it made the devil somehow an irrelevant part of the equation. But God really does look just like Jesus. And if God looked like Jesus, if God looks like Jesus, and Jesus went around healing all those who were oppressed by the devil, then it seems like that's what we're called to as disciples too. And this whole class is about learning who God is, what the gospel is, and how we're called to cooperate with the Holy Spirit to bring the kingdom. So exciting.